Hey guys, it's Alliestrasza. So I keep getting questions on my stream about Knights of the Frozen Throne, like what's my favorite Death Knight, what card am I most excited for, all that jazz. So I decided to put together a YouTube video of all of my favorite stuff that's coming out in Knights of the Frozen Throne. Not all of these cards are going to be meta-breaking. I'm not doing like a top 10 best. I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm most excited to play with first. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please tell me what you guys think of the cards that I picked as well. And let me know what your favorite cards are, or what you're most excited to play with. I'm going to start with my top 5 Death Knights that I'm most excited for. So 4 didn't make the cut, feels bad, man, but I narrowed it down to my top 5 that I'm most excited to play with. So, starting at number 5, we've got Gul'dan, Warlock. Yes, Warlock is my favorite class, but he did still make the cut for top 5, but he is number 5. So, Blood Reaver Gul'dan is battle cry, summon all friendly demons that died this game, and then the hero power Siphon Life is lifesteal and deal 3 damage. I'm probably most excited to play Blood Reaver Gul'dan in a Cruel deck. I've always thought Cruel was a really cool card, but sad that I could never really put him in a viable deck to play in the meta. I don't know if Blood Reaver Gul'dan with Cruel will be a viable deck in this meta either, but I do think that having this Death Knight as your end game will really help the strategy of potentially having a Demon Lock deck. And I've been wanting to play a Demon Lock deck for a really long time, so I'm hoping that I can kind of play this on ladder without getting squashed completely. I'm excited. I want demon decks to be a thing. Coming in at number 4 is actually Shaman. I sort of overlooked the Shaman Death Knight at first, and the more that I look at it, I'm really excited for it. So it's Thrall Deathseer, battle cry, transform your minions into random ones that cost 2 more. And the hero power is transform a friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more. So basically, Evolved Shaman just got a buff. And I'm really happy that Evolved Shaman's a great deck right now. I think it's super fun. It's definitely interesting. And I think that it just got better with the Death Knight. And it's not that expensive, it's only 5 mana, so I feel like it's gonna be strong, actually. I was thinking maybe we could have a little bit more of a mid-range Evolved deck with like Master of Evolution or something like that, but I'm sure that he'll still be strong in the current Evolved Shaman list, so yes. Coming in at number 3, most excited for Death Knight, would be Priest. Shadow Reaper Anduin. 8 mana, battle cry, destroy all minions with 5 or more attack. And Void Form is the hero power, deal 2 damage after you play a card, refresh this. I think this is super duper strong. I think it's one of the strongest Death Knights. I am really looking forward to playing Control Priest, like all different kinds of Control Priest lists, actually. I think that they got a few cards. It's really going to help the archetype. And I've always thought the concept of Shadow Form Priest was really cool, so this is kind of a new take on it, which is super fun. And also there's probably some crazy combos that people are coming up with to do with the hero power, and those fun, insane combo decks are always fun to try and pull off every once in a while. Coming in at number 2, so close to being number 1, but it came in at 2, is Paladin. I'm so excited for this Death Knight. 9 mana, Uther of the Ebon Blade. Battle cry, equip a 5/3 life steal weapon and gave 5 armor. And the hero power, the 4 horsemen, is so many 2/2 horsemen, and if you have all 4, then you just flat out destroy the enemy hero. Now, do I think that you're gonna get the 4 horsemen off very often? No, probably not. But I still think summoning a 2/2 as your hero power is really strong. I just think it's a perfect card to go into Control Paladin. I've always loved Control Paladin. I think it's really strong right now, so I think this is just going to make it even stronger. You're healing for 15 from the weapon 5, 20 total with the armor gain. Very, very strong. Like I said, it's going to go perfectly in Control Paladin, so almost number 1, but it's not. Coming in at number 1 for my favorite Death Knight, and I think just my favorite card from Knights of the Frozen Throne itself, I think I can confidently say this, is Jaina's Death Knight. I don't even know why, I'm just so excited to play the Death Knight Jaina, so Frostlich Jaina, I should say. So at 9 mana, Battle Cry, summon a 3/6 water elemental. Your elementals have lifesteal this game. And then the hero power is Icy Touch, which is deal 1 damage, and if this kills a minion, summon a water elemental. Water elemental has always been one of my favorite cards just in general. I used to play it in Tempo Mage. Tempo Mage has been one of my favorite decks. So the fact that they're incorporating the water elementals into the Death Knight is so cool to me. I think this is a perfect control mage card. I think the hero power is fantastic, and I'm pretty sure that it includes all elementals, not just your 3/6 elementals from your hero power, but just elementals in general. So you could make a control elemental mage deck, but I also think you could put this in Kazakus Mage. I really like that this is a little bit more minion centered, like late game minion centered, as opposed to just burn, because typically, you know, a lot of the really popular control mage decks that we see now, like Freeze Mage or Control Mage with Medivh and stuff like that, which is all about burn. So the fact that we're getting like a more minion-centric endgame with Mage, I think is really cool. So definitely number 1, like I said, probably my favorite card thus far, and definitely the first deck that I'm going to want to try is some kind of Frostlich Jaina Control Mage. Alright guys, so those were my top Death Knights that I'm most excited for. So let's just move into my top 10 favorite cards, or at least I think will be my top 10 favorite cards. These aren't in any particular order, just ones that I'm most excited for. To start things off, it's not just because I revealed it, but I am really excited for Bone Drake. 6 mana, 6/5 dragon, death rattle, add a random dragon to your hand. I talked a lot about it in my reveal video, so I probably don't need to harbor on it, but I love dragon decks, and I think that this is just going to be an excellent new staple for dragon decks. Probably ones that are more control based, because this is a big value card. Could potentially see it in Azoth decks without dragons. Maybe if you don't have the Dust for Cairn and you want a value card in that 6 mana slot, you could put Bone Drake in. Arfis made the cut, probably because he's extra adorable, but no, I do actually think he is a really good card. He's a 4 mana 2/2 beast, death rattle, add a random Death Knight card to your hand. Some of those Death Knight cards are insanely powerful and yeah, just fantastic. So I think just having Arfis in a control deck is probably a good way to go. I'd probably put him in control decks, definitely with Curator, because he is a beast. He'll get drawn off Curator. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in a lot of N'Zoth decks as well. Obviously getting him off Barnes would be fantastic. The Lich King himself couldn't not make my top 10, obviously, for the Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion. He kind of is the expansion. So he's an 8 mana 8/8 taunt. At the end of your turn, add a random Death Knight card to your hand. Some of those Death Knight cards are absolutely insane, and everyone's calling him Dr. 8, I think for good reason. I think we're going to see him in a lot of control decks, if not all of them. Well, I guess it depends, but maybe Paladin is the one that I'm not 100% sure about, considering you have Rag Lightlord and Tyrion. So that's 2 8 drops. Will the Lich King be too much? Will you replace Rag Lightlord with him? I personally wouldn't replace Tyrion with him in Control Paladin, but I still think he'll probably make his way in there because he's just really, really strong. And I think we'll even see him in some mid-range decks as well, just because his ability generates so much value and it gives you so much of an advantage. So definitely the Lich King. I'm very excited to play you. For Shaman, I really like the Voodoo Hexer. It's a 5 mana, 2/7 taunt. Freeze any character damaged by this minion. I've always enjoyed playing Control Shaman, whether it be N'Zoth or something, a deck with Spirit Echo, and a 2/7 taunt is been proven useful in Control Warrior with Allie Armorsmith. And so a 2/7 taunt that freezes any character, I think is pretty darn good. I mean, I think freeze is a pretty powerful mechanic. And so, yeah, I don't know what it is exactly about this card that I'm so excited for. I think it'll fit into some kind of mid-range or control shaman. If you're playing a little bit slower of an evolved shaman, like evolving it into a 6 mana, card is not bad with the new Thrall hero power, Death Knight hero power. So yeah, he made my list, or she. No, it does look like a she. We have a priest card, 6 mana spell, Embrace Darkness. Choose an enemy minion at the start of your turn, gain control of it. So basically a cheaper, a little bit delayed mind control. I'm starting to realize that all of my favorite cards from this set are for archetypes that I'm just excited to play. Control Priest is definitely one of them. And so I think this just fits perfectly into Control Priest. I'm envisioning my opponent dropping a Tyrion on the board and me just casting Embrace Darkness and taking it from him or her. Okay, so for Paladin, one of the cards I'm most excited to see is Bolvar Fireblood. He's a 5 mana 1/7 with Divine Shield. After a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain +2 attack. So I'm not sure if we'll see like a big rise of Divine Shield decks like Steward of Darkshire. I think where this card is strong is just simply in its stats. A 5 mana 1/7 with Divine Shield's kind of insane because the follow-up, if you draw your cards in the right order of course, is Spikeridge Steed, which is such a strong card. And I think a 5 mana 1/7 with Divine Shield is going to be relatively hard to remove a lot of the time. And so like I said, if you do draw that Steed, it'll be a 3/13 with Divine Shield. Obviously if they don't ping it, which I think is just going to be extremely difficult to deal with. One of the cards that I'm really excited for that you might not expect because it's not anything too flashy is Cold Wraith. It's a 3 mana 3/4 battle cry. If an enemy is frozen, draw a card. 3 mana 3/4s in the history of Hearthstone have always been strong, like Spider Tank or Spellslinger. Just that those stats for 3 mana have, like I said, always been pretty darn good. So I was thinking of playing this in the Death Knight Jaina control mage deck. I think that in the late game when your elementals are freezing everything, and obviously mage has a lot of freeze effects like Frostbolt and Blizzard and Frost Nova, card draw is very important. And I think that just having a 3 mana 3/4 to drop in the early game against aggro can definitely be good sometimes. So I'm excited for Cold Wraith. Bone Mare is a 7 mana 5/5 battle cry. Give a friendly minion +4/+4 and taunt. I think this card's, we're gonna see it a lot. I think he's really strong. I could be wrong here, but I think he's going to pop up in the meta quite a bit. I personally would put it in Control Paladin. 18 total stats for 7 mana is really strong. Having that taunt ability to help against aggro, yeah, I think he's going to be seen quite a bit, and I think the power level of this card is relatively high. Syndragosa had to make my top list. because Mage and Dragon. Mage is one of my favorite classes, and obviously I love just the Dragon cards in Hearthstone. So it is an 8-mana, 8/8 Dragon, summon 2/0/1 Frozen Champions, and then the Frozen 1 Champions add a random legendary minion to your hand. So I don't know how strong Sindragosa actually is. I do think that she's a bit of a flashy card, and that's why I'm excited to play with her. She seems very fun. I do think she combos well with the new Jaina Death Knight hero, because if your hero power, if it kills a minion, it will summon a 3/6 water elemental. So you're able to play this on 8, ping a Frozen Champion, and get a random legendary minion. So I think it could work pretty well in a control mage list with the new hero portrait. We could potentially see a Dragon Mage. That would be cool. Discover cards are weighted more when they're class cards, so something like Netherspite Historian will have a really high chance of discovering Sindragosa. So I think that's pretty notable too. So maybe we will see a Dragon Mage, I'm not sure. Another priest card, 9-mana Obsidian Statue, Taunt and Lifesteal and Death Rattle, destroy a random enemy minion. I've heard that some people don't think this card is very strong, and they might be correct, because 9 mana is pretty expensive, and you can compare it to things like Primordial Drake, which is less expensive, and same stats. I really can't pinpoint why I'm so excited for this card. I think it's because I'm excited to play N'Zoth Priest with potentially the quest, the Awaken the Maker's quest. And so I think if you get this off of Barnes, it's awesome. I think, you know, taunt minions or Death Rattle taunt minions in general are really important when it comes to N'Zoth decks, because sometimes when you're dropping your N'Zoth, like, you could be in a compromised position because it's late game, you could be at low health. So anytime you've got a Death Rattle taunt, it's pretty good. And so yeah, I'm excited for this card, Obsidian Statue. I'm interested to see how it goes, because like I said, I think I've heard, you know, some people saying it's not that great, but nonetheless I am excited to play with it and interested to see its power level in N'Zoth Priest. Alright guys, so those are my top 10 cards that I'm most excited to play with, and also my top 5 Death Knight heroes as well. Like I said, a lot of people had been asking me, Allie, what are you most excited for? And there you go. So I hope that answered some of your guys' questions. There's a lot of other cards that I'm super hyped to play with, and from Knights of the Frozen Throne as well, but these are the ones that made the cut. So let me know which cards you are most excited for, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you later. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to see some more in the future, please hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to see some Twitch highlight videos, click the top left button. And if you'd like to see some tips and tutorials videos, hit the top right. Thank you guys again. See you later.